What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and man, this is going to be a hard video, but welcome to Subcompact Cities, we could call it. Now, someone requested a video of me ranking all my subcompacts, and if you know this channel over here, if you request a video, I do my best to screenshot it and get back to it. Sometimes it always gets lost in translation, or I forget to go back to it, or I can't find it in my photos, but I do my best. So whenever you see that, give me a couple weeks and you might see your video pop up. And those are some of my favorite videos, because even though not everyone wants to see it, I'm making one person happy, which makes, me happy. So I'm all for it. And before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Tell me your favorite subcompact and why. Also, if you disagree with this list, tell me why. I'm open for criticism over here. These are only the opinions of myself. I can't live for you. I can't tell you what your hands fit. I can't tell you what your body style can conceal. I can only speak for me over here. And for reference, I'm about 5'9", 175 pounds. So, it is what it is. But also, I'm a dad, so I got a little bit of a belly going on. But it is what it is. Let's get into it. You guys already know, Glock 26, #1 handgun that I carry. My favorite handgun of all time. It's just what I go to. It's so versatile. It's such a great, reliable handgun. It's been around so long. It's still very relevant in today's market. It's a very short grip. Very easy to conceal with the 10-round mag. And everybody I've spoken to who is an actual person, not a YouTube reviewer, an actual person at the range, an actual person that I know that shoots thousands of rounds, they all say they shoot their 26 better or just as good as their 19s, 17s, 45s, 49s, and so on. Basically, they shoot it just as good as their big brothers, just as fast. And I feel that 100%. So therefore, why carry a Glock 17 or a Glock 45 or a Glock 19 when you can shoot this small package just as well and get all the capacity? They make grip sleeves for it. They make all sorts of stuff for that longer magazine. But the 26 is just on point. I have so many of them, never a single issue. So I can't argue with reliability. It's there when you need it to go bang. That's all that matters. It's not is this the most special thing in the world? No. Does it have a ton of features? No. It's pretty plain Jane actually, but it runs. That's all that matters. I cannot see myself up close and personal with someone and they start attacking me and I'm like, oh, where's my red dot? Where's my red? No, it's just not like that. It's going to be point and shoot 90% of the time in self-defense encounters. And after that, I'm just as good with the iron sights as I am with an optic, so I don't worry about having an optic as much. After that, I hate to say it, but we got to stick with another Glock. Glock 27, and I'll also throw my Glock 33. I forgot to grab it, but my Glock 33 will go in the same category as my second favorite. They're just powerhouses, and they're small. And they're a little smaller than a lot of these other firearms that you see on the table. They're thinner, lighter, shorter. So this right here is 11 plus 1, 12 rounds of 40 in this small package. And yes, that's a Handguns Group base plate. Some of my favorite base plates, that's what was on my Glock 26 right there. It's what I carry on a lot of my smaller Glocks. They're awesome base plates. And yes, that's just from wear and tear and use and so on. But Glock 27 and 33 is that real power. You're stepping up in power. The 33 and 357 SIG doesn't have as much felt recoil as the 40 or the Glock 27, but I love them all. They just run. And because of the power in such a small handgun, I call it the baby shark. Because this is a small handgun, a baby handgun, but man does it bite. So, gotta love the 27. People say, oh, put that on the Glock 29, but the Glock 29 is a compact size. It's not a baby. Those are called the baby Glocks. So I just gotta clear that up. Next one might surprise you, but my XD. This is subcompact. It's a little thicker, a little heavier than some of the other ones on the table. But I love this thing because it was one of my first handguns ever. And yes, it's gotten beat to crap and looks terrible and whatever you want to say. But I got a lot of use out of it. I got like 14,000 rounds through this thing. It's just a beast. Now, I don't carry it the most anymore. I used to carry it back in the day. I don't carry it the most, but honestly, I've been considering getting a stainless steel one and making that one of my main carries again because it's never given me a problem. It handles recoil like a champ. It's just a beast of a firearm. So, got to give it up to Springfield Armory XD. And on top of that, I just want to mention this. For new shooters who are a little nervous about carrying around in the chamber, that's why I got this handgun to start. You have a grip safety and a trigger safety. I was so nervous about carrying with a round in the chamber and appendix carrying. I didn't care about 3 o'clock carrying or anything, but appendix carry as a man, well, I guess I got a vasectomy this last summer, so I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. But, yeah, that's a great way to start carrying and getting used to your firearm and learning gun safety and so on. So, man, this is a hard choice. There's so many good subcompacts. Let's see. I think I gotta do it. The XDM. Now it's bigger than the rest, so you can count this out of the list if you want. But this is the best shooting handgun on this table, other than probably this HK and these MMPs. It is so smooth. It handles recoil so well. Yes, it is a little thick. Yes, the grip's a little weird. You get 2 fingers in there, and this one sort of sits in this little groove, but it actually works out really well. It's weird. But you can also take the mag well off, but I prefer it on actually for my grip. Locks these 2 fingers in real nice. But when people shoot this, just like last week in the range, a guy I went shooting with, who's a supporter of the channel, loves shooting this thing. And I told him the XDM is where it's at. It is a beast of a handgun. And also, it makes a factory 35-round mag. That's more than the Glock 26 can take. A factory 35-round mag for a total 36 rounds. How can you beat that? Love the XDM. Oh my goodness, this is hard. Like I said, it's a very hard decision to make, so do not get on me about that. It's just very hard. I would next have to say my M&P 40C. So this is a 1.0. So they were still calling it the C. They weren't calling it the subcompact at the time, but it is subcompact in size, in every way, shape, and form. So it can take its big brother magazines. It is in 40, but the size of that slide and the overall feeling of this grip with this thicker palm swell grip right there feels really good. The recoil is very minimal on this. I got this used as a police trade-in, not a single hiccup, not a single issue. I've had this for probably, I don't know, 9 months, a year now, not a single problem. I actually carry this, believe it or not, and it's a 1.0 made like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever, and I love the dang thing. So it is what it is, guys. Or I think probably 15 to 20 years ago, sorry. Next up, I have to go, it's so hard between these two. It really is. You know, because I just did the M&P, I'll have to go with the CZP-10S. Simply for its value. You can find these for about $350 right now, optics ready and everything. They take the 12-round mag, flush, and it's very, very short. The number one complaint I have with this firearm is, for some reason, it's a little bit harder to draw than like my Glock 26 or Glock 27, for whatever reason, because it's so short, but you can get base plates for it, and you can use longer mags and stuff like that. Has a rail, has this amazing, beautiful finish, awesome trigger. Look how big that trigger guard is, guys. If you live in a place that gets cold like me, you can get a glove finger in there really easily. Obviously, it's clear. It racks like butter, but look at this. So crisp, so clean. The first time I shot this thing, I think I was in a little bit of shock because it was so smooth. It's a little bit longer than some of the other on the table. That's the only thing. Next up, we got to go with the M&P 9 subcompact. This thing is just smooth. I don't have the most rounds through it. I think we're just over 1,000 or something like that, but not a single issue. It takes the same holster as my M&P 40C right here. They're the same size. And this is 10 plus 1 and 40, and this is 12 plus 1 and 9, if you guys were wondering. But 12 plus 1 in this small setup, you can use the flush mag without the pinky extension. The pinky extension just doesn't add anything, but they give you one of each mag. Comes with a rail, just that big heavy slide once again. Makes it feel like you're shooting a 380. I mean, this is such a fast handgun, but this is the subcompact that still has the hinge trigger. So if you don't like the hinge triggers, you might not like this one. But the newer ones they come out with have the better like Shield Plus style trigger. Oh man, this is hard. I love this Ruger, but I'm sorry guys, I gotta do it. HK P2000 SK, once again in 40. What I love about subcompacts are they all tend to come in 40 and 9. And that's awesome. Some even 357 SIG, but if you have a 40, you can always convert it to 357 SIG and 9. So whenever you get a 40, the Glock 27 is the most versatile handgun on this table because it can be a 9mm, a 357 SIG, and a 40. And it takes every double stack Glock mag there is. That's amazing for those 3 calibers. And all it takes is a conversion barrel and an ejector change. Now, this right here is hammer fired, has a decocker, and this is a $1,000 handgun. I don't review handguns that are that expensive because they're expensive, and a lot of people can't afford them, especially in today's market. But this was $500 on PSA with a rebate, so I ended up getting 6 mags for it. Awesome setup, 9 plus 1 and 40, so that's 10 rounds of 40. I'm fine with that. Awesome decocker, you know, it's cleared, safety check. Awesome first single action trigger pull, but then you can also decock it for your first trigger pull and have this long double action trigger pull, but very predictable. $500, 6 mags in 40, sign me up. And it's an HK, sign me up. Next, I don't want to disrespect any of these handguns, but the Glock 39. It is just an amazing handgun. People talk down of it because its capacity. This is only 9 rounds right here, but it's a 45 GAP, a shortened 45. It's a caliber that was designed by Glock, CCI, and Speer, and they wanted to be able to put a 45 ACP in a smaller framed handgun. So that's what they did. This is a Glock 26 style frame, 27, 33, and 28. They all use the same frame. The difference is the slide on these are a little thicker to help deal with some of that recoil, and man, is this thing a shooter. I can get away with 8+1. I can get away with 7+1, especially a 45 GAP. Has very similar ballistics to 45 ACP, even though it's shorter. But the way this thing shoots, there's no recoil. It feels like you're shooting a Glock 26. It really handles the recoil well from having that big, thick slide. What's interesting is, right from the factory, it came with this extended slide stop. I didn't put that on. And then I realized eventually it's because that slide overhangs, the original wouldn't function properly. So it's actually pretty cool that they just had to throw on their extended, and it runs. So this is a great handgun. People talk down on it because there's not a lot of ammunition, but I actually did confirm that there are 2 or 3 ammo manufacturers out there that still produce this ammo. So, and nobody uses this caliber. So you can find it everywhere online real quick. I don't care what anyone says. I ordered like 200 hollow points in like 10 minutes. So now we're more in the budget series, right? And there's nothing wrong with these because they've all been great handguns. But I do got to go with the Ruger SR9C. I think this is one of Ruger's best handguns they ever made. I know some people did have issues with theirs. I had issues with my very first SR9C, but I eventually got rid of it. And then I regretted getting rid of it because Ruger fixed it for me. I regretted, getting rid of it because it's so smooth. It is such a clean shooter. The trigger's really nice on it. I like the slide a lot. I like the finish. I love stainless steel. It's a little beat up. I bought it used, but runs 100% reliable. Threw some grips on it, and man, does this thing feel good in the hand. It really does. So I really like the Ruger SR9C, and on top of that, you can save some money. Sorry, I got some crazy kids upstairs. Alright, next up, gosh, I love the G3C, but I love the Stoeger STR9 subcompact a little bit better. I just do. It's 10+1. It's a Glock 26 clone, almost identical in size. Although this one, they were smart. Glock, you think you would figure out by now. Put a dang rail on the thing. What can it harm? Just put a rail on the 26. Put a rail on the 27. Put a rail on the 33. Put a rail on the 28. Put a rail on the 39. Like, it does blow my mind. I love Glock. I ride for Glock. But throw a dang rail on the thing. Jesus. Anyways, Stoeger, $250 handgun. Runs great. Has a better trigger than its larger compact. It takes the compact and full-size magazines. Has a large trigger guard. Has a nice shaped trigger. I like how it's sort of flat but curves out at the end. Really makes for a good trigger pull. This thing's obviously clear. They have really nice magazines for it. They're just very hard to find. First trigger pull. And it only comes with 1 mag. So that's my number 1 complaint. But I just like the trigger. I like the, the point of aim on it. I like the just overall texture, the feeling of it. Just a good pistol. And for $250, awesome tackle box gun. It could even be your main carry. But you could throw light on it, throw a larger mag in. It could be your home defense. I just like this size firearm. It's just a good pistol. Nothing wrong with that at all. And just because I have my Taurus G3C last doesn't mean I don't have love for it. I have 2 G3Cs, so that says enough. If I have multiple of any firearm, I like it. I have multiple of my 26, my 27, my Hellcat. I have multiple of my Shield 40s, multiple of my GX4s, my G3C. And when I really love a handgun, for some reason I get another one. I don't know what it is, but love the G3C. Never one single issue with it. My only problem is the finish on it. I don't like. The trigger pull's okay, but it's light but long. It's very shootable. Comes with rail. Comes with 3 Metgar mags. That's amazing. Taurus, that's amazing. 3 mags, and of course they went to Metgar, so now I get good quality mags. But 3 mags for a $250 gun, that's beautiful. Thank you. So just, that's huge right out of the box. For a first time gun owner, I recommend the G3C as well. You'll upgrade eventually. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll fall in love with it. Might have been 100% reliable. Feels really good in the hand. Good trigger. Maybe I should have moved this up on the list. I can't get everything right, but sometimes I like handguns better this day than I do that day. Just is what it is. But this thing shoots really well. I have 0 complaints. The only thing is, for some reason when I shoot this, my pinky gets like a, it's not a pinch, but like it feels the recoil. It's almost like the recoil travels through the handgun, but comes out on the pinky sorry, not my pinky. What am I saying? My trigger finger. So for some reason I feel it. It's not that I'm getting pinched here. Sorry, that was confusing. I think it's more of just how it feels on my finger when I'm shooting. This thing's unloaded in a safe direction. That's the first trigger pull. Reset. Very nice. And then you have restrike capability, which is this right here. So it's actually sort of cool. If you have a light primer strike, you can just pull that trigger again and again until it goes off. Now, that might be nice in a self-defense encounter, but chances are if that light primer didn't go off, you got about a 50% chance of it actually going off next time. Maybe 75% chance, but you don't tend to run into that with self-defense ammo because they're quality ammo with great striker or primers. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.